Paul was the complete package. He was an architect. He had a highly refined aesthetic view. He knew the profession, he knew the business, he knew what the role of the architect was. And he was also a real estate professional. So he understood the impact of the built environment on people's lives.
He had amazing abilities to think about projects and outcomes in non-architectural ways. He could talk to lawyers and bankers and was able to break things down and build things back and understand the nature of constituencies that made successful development.
When Paul gets behind something and he believes in something, he drives it. Paul really believed in the importance of architecture for public spaces. If he's going to put his time behind it, he's going to put a lot of time behind it, not just a little bit. He doesn't stick his little toe in. Paul really would go for it.
His role at the Collaborative was kind of a perfect fit because the mission of the Collaborative is to promote good design in every neighborhood. And Paul, as much as anyone I've ever met, recognized the import of good design and how that affords people opportunities, builds community, and really benefits lives.
He had a clear understanding of the organization. He understood the mission, he understood its public purpose, and he knew that it was important for the Collaborative to continue on an approach of multiple partnerships and relationships with other institutions in the city. I think he did a really good job seeing the organization in its totality, and he made real commitment of time to improve all aspects of the organization.
Paul had this great combination of being a vision guy and a detail guy. So he would understand what, the details of what the Collaborative needed to do to grow, and at the same time visioning as to do, what sort of projects he could take on, focusing on long-term funding and making a name for the Collaborative.
He would be the last person ever to be supercilious or to rely on his expertise. And there were so many times where we would get together because we were friends at work and we were friends outside of work, and he'd take me to a job site under development. Invariably there'd be a gate or a fence, and he'd have to call someone on his cell to come. And a lot of people, especially when they're busy and when they're engaged in very high level thinking and very high level decision making, they don't make time for other people, right? And Paul would invariably wind up continuing a conversation that he had started with the custodian or the guy that was in charge of the gate or the person representing the property owner who would just happen to have the keys and unlock the place. And Paul would make a point of saying, thanks so much for what you're doing here. It's so important. You're doing a great job. Thanks a lot. And it really was a great lesson to me because that acknowledgement doesn't cost you anything. And it only takes a few minutes, but it makes a big difference. It makes a big difference about how people see themselves and about how we see ourselves as a team. And we worked at this big institution, but Paul made people feel included in that. He didn't stand on ceremony. He didn't take advantage of his position in any way. He was really generous and kind. So even more than his professional expertise, that's what I miss, and that's what I remember.